Hello, good morning, how are you? Or good afternoon or good evening, depending on where you're coming in from or what time of day you happen to be popping in. So I'm Kelsey Mashad, and today we're talking about the effects of a bad diet, okay? I have 5 little white lies that I'm going to share with you that we need to really stop telling ourselves, because this is something that I hear quite often, and a lot of people will say to me, I'm not really sure, I feel like I use the food as an excuse, or sometimes I self-sabotage quite a bit. And yeah, sabotage, it's a huge thing, and it actually, sabotage can come in many, many forms, and self-sabotage in particular is one that happens a lot too, and that we can work on, okay? Good morning, Christine, how are you? So, do you feel like every time that you try to stick to your routine of, you eat good, you exercise for like a week or so, and then all of a sudden you feel like you deserve a little something extra, or you deserve maybe like a cheat meal, maybe that's what you call it, depending. And there's no judgment here, because you're certainly not alone in this, for sure. And there's just, there's no judgment, there should be no shame, because treats, we label them as cheats, okay? And that can end up being like super counterproductive to ourselves when it comes to our goals, all right? So if you always think that you should have something because you deserve it, let's reframe that. Let's try to reframe that thought. I do a lot of reframing with my clients, and let's say instead, I don't deserve to cheat all the time, and stop making these self-sabotaging excuses, and let's create some new mantras for ourselves, okay? So I have, like I said, these 5 little white lies that I feel like a lot of us tell ourselves, and I'm going to explain what we can do about them as well. So number 1 is, if I tell myself no now, then eventually I'll just binge later. Basically meaning that, you should probably have it now, right? No, why wait and binge on it later on? Has that ever happened to you? Do you find yourself ever saying those thoughts in your head? Have you ever heard that in your head before? So the thing is, this is not a way of thinking that you want to have in your head, because in moments like this, you really want to try to tell yourself the truth, okay? Let's be truthful with ourselves, because like I said, there's no judgment, don't judge yourself, and you want to be like, okay, I am making a choice, not a sacrifice, all right? Because by changing your words, just changing your words even slightly, then you learn how to start having better control over your cravings. And the more of the healthy food you eat, the more you'll actually start craving them instead of the junk all the time. Okay? And I know that sounds like probably really crazy to you, or far-fetched, or you're thinking, yeah, how is that ever going to happen? Or I wish that would happen to me. But believe me, it happens, because it's happened to myself for sure. Good morning, Suzanne. How are you? So as far as being able to crave more of the healthy, more nutrient-dense type of foods, I absolutely do. When it comes to food, to me now, food is food. Whether I have an apple in front of me or I have a cookie in front of me, food is food, and which one do I prefer to have? More often than not, I prefer the apple over the cookie, because it's just what my body is telling me that it wants. And a lot of times we're not listening to our body, and that's where we get into trouble. Okay, our body will send us signals. It's a matter that we slow down and actually listen to it, and give our bodies what it actually needs and what it really, really wants, okay? But I could go even deeper into that, but I want to stick to our 5 little white lies today. But if you have any questions, feel free to pop it in the comments for me. I'm very happy to answer your questions for you. But the thing to keep in mind though here is that you want to think about your mind and your body and making that connection, because an easy fix that I tell my clients is, okay, step back, come back, and let's reevaluate when you're having that craving. All right. If the cake is calling your name, then give it a minute. All right. Give it just a minute to see if you're truly hungry. All right. Or maybe have some real food if you haven't yet so far. If you just haven't really had like a decent meal yet in the day, and you're thinking you want cake, let's try to have like a decent meal first and then see how you feel, or even just stepping back for a moment, step away for a few minutes and then come back. And that craving, let me tell you, is most likely going to have lessened, or maybe it's even gone. But if at that point you still want the cake, then have the cake. That's okay too. But it's just a matter of checking in with yourself to make sure, is that what I really want right now? And is that what I really need right now? Okay? And if you do want it, have it. But have it in an amount that feels good to your body, all right? Don't eat the whole cake that's sitting there. Have a nice portioned piece for yourself, and that's absolutely okay, all right? So it's about being able to have all these foods that you enjoy in a way that feels good to your body. And that's where honoring your hunger and respecting your fullness come into play, which are two of the intuitive eating principles, okay? And those are just very, very important to have an overall healthy lifestyle for yourself. Okay, so number 2, maybe you have said in the past, today was a day from hell and I deserve a treat. I deserve something. So believe me, I get it. I've been there. And after being stressed out from a long, hard day, the first thing that most of us want is something pleasurable and comforting. Absolutely, right? And that totally makes sense, because your body is now out of balance. When you're not feeling good and you're having these negative emotions running through you, that's putting your body out of balance, and it wants to get back into balance as quickly as it possibly can. And that is usually through food, because it's easy to grab, and our body and our brain know it's comforting to us, and then it automatically soothes us, right? Okay? But does that pleasure only have to come in the form of calories? Okay? Think about that for a minute. Is there something else you could do that's going to make you feel really good and comforted and relaxed and pleasured? You know, every time you crave something sweet, maybe it's just sweetness that you're looking for. And I know that might sound, a little silly, but it's true. It's absolutely true. When we're feeling down about something, we deserve more kindness, not calories, all right? And this makes so much sense, because I had this client who she felt so tempted to emotionally eat. But when she could literally verbalize why she felt so lousy, and she just would go and I think she went and got herself a massage to make herself feel better. I believe that's what it was. I know she did something very like a pedicure. I believe it was a massage though that she went and got for herself. And this, doing that instead, this not only gave her pleasure, but it's a form of self-care as well. And we want to be able to incorporate self-care into our days, because again, that's going to incorporate into our overall health and feeling good, both mentally and physically. And this is something that gives you that quick hit of dopamine. Okay, that's our pleasure hormone, but it's giving you that without the calories and without the guilt. Okay, so you need to be able to do other things that make you feel good, and other things that, doesn't have to always be like, going out and getting a massage or something to that extreme, which is nice if you can for yourself, but something as simple as taking a nice hot bubble bath, or going for a walk, or sitting down with a book, or a nice hot cup of tea. It can be something super simple like that, or it can be like, yeah, I'm going to go get myself a pedicure today. Something that's going to make you feel really good, so that you're not feeling like you have to always reach for food instead. Okay. And number 3, maybe you've said, I need to listen to my body, and my body wants McDonald's. But really, the difference between needs and wants is everything when it comes to your food choices, okay? Craving fried chicken or French fries, it usually hits you when you're hungry, you're really starving, all right? And that means you didn't honor your hunger, for one. And, here's the thing. Your hunger is not picky. So I do this little test, okay? I do this apple versus the cookie test. And if the apple will do, then it's hunger, all right? If you would kill for a cookie, then it's a craving. And sometimes I'll do that with different foods, maybe a piece of cake or chicken or a hard-boiled egg or something. But the point is that knowing that which one you really, really feel like having, that can help you distinguish between whether or not it's true hunger or if it's a craving that's happening, okay? And then that way you're able to separate the two, and then you can be more truthful even with yourself, and then say something like, okay, I really want McDonald's, but this veggie burger is what I need, okay? So just some reframing your thoughts and thinking about what do you really need. A lot of times we act quickly on things, right? And it's a matter of just slowing down. It's in our society, we are like especially here in America, we're fast paced, and we're fast paced with just about everything we do, just going through our daily lives. So if we can just take a moment to slow down and step back for a minute, it can make all the difference in even just in your food choices, okay? All right, so number 4 is I've been really good all week. I know I've heard myself say that so many times, and have you heard yourself say this? I mean, even all of them. I mean, once I go through all of them, you'll see that I will tell you that, yeah, I am 5 out of 5 on these. I have said every single one of these at some point in my life, probably more than once, because this one especially, I feel like this one gets us all the time, because what I want to do is actually reframe this, okay? Let's reframe that thought, more reframing here, and say, I've been really good all week. I want to keep it that way, okay? It's a little bit of changing it up there, changing our words, changing our thinking, changing that thought pattern. So I've been really good all week. I want to keep it that way, all right? And I know that's tough. You know, it's tough to begin with. It's tough to even say to begin with. But when you start looking at food as a prize, you're not only sabotaging your own motivation, but you're also kind of showing that you have kind of reached the end, right? And this, unfortunately, can cause you to just revert back to your unhealthy behaviors, your unhealthy patterns. So next time you feel like you deserve something, focus on how eating healthy has really paid off for you. Focus on all the wins. You know, we don't celebrate enough. We don't celebrate the wins enough. I feel like we don't give them enough credit. You don't give yourself enough credit. So then you're more likely to find that maybe your new dress size has gone down, or maybe you have some increased energy, all right? You know, these are not worth just blowing off for 5 minutes of an indulgence, okay? And number 5, last but not least, we say, no big deal. I'll just work it off later. Have you ever said that before? I have for sure said that before. Oh my gosh, this one actually brings back quite a few memories for me. And one of them in particular stands out. Many years ago, I went to the gym with my girlfriends, and we planned this day, went to the gym, and then we were going to go to the Olive Garden to eat afterwards. So we were planning to work off our calories before we even went to overeat. So totally backwards, totally messed up thinking. But you know what? We totally believed it at the time. I believed it at the time. So crazy, such crazy thinking. But we think that way, and it needs to be brought to light that's first of all, you don't want to use exercise as punishment ever. Exercise and movement should be something that's enjoyable to you. So if you like to work out or exercise, then chances are you've said this excuse many times already, just like I have. You know, been there, done that. And the thing again, you know, let's reframe. Some more reframing here. Let's reframe that thought. Think of it like, okay, I'll work out now and treat myself later. All right. Good morning, Angie. How are you? So the difference between these two mentalities is that I would compare it to, say, like spending money before you have it, right? We tend to be optimists when it comes to our future selves, but when it comes to a healthy lifestyle, you know, that is manifested in habit and routine. So it's really easier to eat well when you're feeling really good, right? When you're feeling good and successful, as opposed to trying to like rectify some former transgressions. So just keep at it. And that pie or that cake or those cookies, they will eventually stop calling your name, and they'll stop calling them so often. All you have to do is train it to. So if you need help still training your brain and getting your body to follow so that you can reach your goals, then reach out. reach out. I'm happy to chat with you. I do complimentary consultations, so it costs you nothing to just have a conversation with me and see about where you're at, maybe some frustrations you're going through, or you're just feeling a little lost, or wondering why maybe you're doing so well and things aren't changing for you. That can be frustrating too, and I get that. And we can take a deep look to exactly what's going on with you, and we can see about how I can take you from where you are now to where you'd like to go. So if you guys don't have any questions for me right now, I'm going to hop off. But if any questions do come up or anything comes to mind, feel free to let me know. Throw it on my page, PM me, whatever works for you. But I'm going to hop off, and I hope you guys have a very beautiful day, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye, guys.